Hello, and welcome back to an episode of From the Pitch to Purpose, where I, your host, Samantha Brand, or as a lot of people know on social media, Sammy B, take you through life transition after life transition. And honestly, I cannot wait to tell you about what I am about to. But if you haven't listened to other episodes, please go back. Start from the beginning. The first episode's me and my beautiful daughter. It was about 1.5 years ago, 2 years. And it is absolutely amazing. It's absolutely adorable. So go back, start from the beginning. But let me just tell you about my last 12 days. And actually, I'm going to tell you it raw because I have not processed it. So this is going to be exciting. I just went back to Sweden for the first time in 2 years. Now, if you, again, have listened to my podcast, you know that I'm a former professional soccer player who had traveled the world playing soccer for about 10, 11 years. And I ended up in Sweden on a contract in this tiny little town called Ljusdal, and it is possibly one of the most safe places in my entire world, and also where I've suffered the most trauma. So it's kind of crazy, kind of twofold, but I went back there because I had to clean out me and my late husband's storage. And this storage contained 2 full apartments worth of memories. It contained all of my things that I had moved from the U.S. there because I was meant to live there. It contained so many stories, so many memories, heavy ones, happy ones, cute ones, like all my baby's clothes. It contained scary ones, like things like death certificates. It contained beautiful things like my daughter's birth story. This contained every bit of my life in Sweden. And I was terrified. I'll tell you, I didn't sleep right before I left. I scheduled a therapy session right after I came back because I knew it would be a lot of emotion. I was terrified. Not to mention, I've never been scared to fly, but there's been a lot of plane crashes lately, and I was really scared to fly. And again, I've been flying since I was 13. First flight, 13 years old, all the way over to Australia and New Zealand. I've been flying for my whole life. So for me to be scared to fly was really strange. But I think it had to do with the fact that I knew I was flying towards something really scary and really heavy. Now, I don't necessarily understand all the things that I'm feeling in the current moment about this trip because I just got back last night. But I will tell you that it was one of the most healing and also tumultuous things I've had to do since my husband's passing. And I want you to know that I'm okay, but I am still so raw that I wanted to bring this to you now. When I was going through this locker, I'm looking at things that honestly it was a life that I thought I was going to have. So yes, grief was present. It was ever present, but grief has been present in my life for years. So it's almost an old friend at this point. But this was a different kind of grief. I was actually looking at physical evidence of a life that I was going to have. I was looking at physical evidence of my life broken. And I want to tell you that, it's okay. It's okay to grieve objects. And I've been told so much losing a person. Yes, it's also okay to look at something like a dress that might have fit you a year ago that doesn't fit you now. And the reasons that it doesn't fit you now are trauma-based. Maybe you gained weight. Maybe you lost weight, something like that. Because I looked at some of these outfits that I purchased with the intention of wearing in the life that I intended to have, and I can't wear them anymore. Maybe too tight, maybe too much emotion in the fabric. Maybe it was an outfit that my husband really liked me in. All I know is that I grieved objects this week, and it felt shallow to me at times. I was like, it's just stuff, Sam. It's just, I had to repeat this to myself. I had to repeat over and over again to myself. It's just stuff. It's okay. It's okay. But my stuff held so much emotional, emotional, yes, and also just it felt like something in my hands. Having to throw away or give away, send it to Goodwill, things that meant so much to me. And also, this was a weird one. I knew there were certain things I couldn't throw away because they meant so much to my late husband. And that was a really interesting feeling because I don't know. I don't know for sure if those things meant so much to him because they meant something to him, or because, hey, I saw him in this outfit when we went on this date, and so they mean so much to me. So it was a lot of emotion to process all at once. And I want to say that, like, I've sat and I've watched moms who've had to grieve, not being able to have a second child and giving away all those newborn clothes, because that was something I had to grieve. Or moms who have lost grown children, who grieve the clothes that they have. What do we do with them, right? I've seen people grieve clothes that their late mother or late father have worn. That one shirt that dad always had on over this weekend or the weekend or something like that. And I want you to hear me say that grieving objects, a house, a couch, there was like this weird massage thing that I always used after games, like, which had me start grieving my career and being sore. It was really, really strange. And so there were so many emotions caught in this one place. But I just want you to hear, it is okay to grieve objects. And I'm saying that to you as much as I'm saying that to me, because honestly, I sat there and I grieved the weirdest things. A paper that said that my citizenship was approved. I don't need this paper. But it was a moment that brought so much joy when we got it in the mail between me and my late husband, and I felt it. I felt when I held that. I felt that joy, and throwing that into a trash can where it's gonna go get burned was so emotional. And also, I only had 1 week, less than that, maybe 4 or 5 days to do all of this because of time restraints. So I was also time was put under a lot of pressure, but I think I had to do it that way. I think if I had a month to do what I had to do this past week, I think I would have saved a lot of things that would have just brought sadness with me home. It would have just brought turmoil, or it would have just brought a part of grief that I actually have healed from. And so that was one of the first lessons I think that I learned, is that I'm currently learning, is it is okay to grieve objects that seem like so insignificant to everyone else's eye. A knife that he used to chop food that he made for me and my daughter. It's okay to grieve the shoes that we couldn't get him to throw away because he loved them so much. It's okay to grieve. I'm telling you, there are things like a hair tie that he wrapped around his credit cards, and I could not get him to buy a freaking wallet, right? And I also could not give away and this has nothing to do with my late husband. I could not give away my last team that I played for, all of my clothes for that team. I don't play soccer currently. I don't. And I could not give away those shorts that I wore, and I sweat in, and I sat and I wanted so badly to win games in. And honestly, that team brought me to my late husband. So I could not give away these random pieces of things that were part of a life. And I think part of that is because that was a life I meant to have. That was a life that I hoped for and I prayed for and I got, and then I lost. And that's some heavy shit right there. It's some heavy stuff to physically look at objects, right? That was a life that you had. Now this also, it can be a lot of things. So if you're grieving a divorce, for instance, and you look down at that wedding ring and you're like, I was supposed to die in that wedding. I was till death do us part. I feel you. I hear you. I love you. I am you. If you're grieving this, this is silly, but there was a pair of shoes that like I rocked, right? Like I remember just being like the queen of queens in them, and post-pregnancy I can't wear them anymore. And I know that hits with a lot of moms, where it's like your shoe size went up and you have that pair of shoes that makes you feel like a baddie as a baddie, and you can't wear them anymore because if you got too big. So I unwilling, and I tried to squeeze when I tell you, I tried to squeeze my feet into them, because honestly, I'm like, no. These shoes will make me feel like who I wanted to be. And I think I had to dig deep to figure out why I wanted to keep those shoes, why I wanted to keep these clothes, why I wanted to keep this stuff. It's because it is genuinely who I still feel I want to be. I want to be a European mom raising my half Swedish baby. where she's bilingual, and I come home to my Swedish husband, and we go on adventures in Europe, and my husband has this great job, so I get to do all these passion projects. I want to be her. I don't, right now, the weight of being this person who has to be the breadwinner and also have to either stifle my passions or find a way to do them on the side while I still have to go to work and do this big job. It's a lot. It is a lot to handle. It's a lot to manage daily. And I'm grieving this life of softness. And yes, girl, don't get it twisted. I am a queen. I am a hard worker. I can give myself a soft life, but it is a lot more work than had I had a partner who was doing the job that my late husband had. So let's see here, right? I'm sitting here trying to figure out my life lessons and all this. I'm trying to sift through all the BS. I'm trying to sift through all these emotions to figure out what it is. And it's just grief. And I constantly tell people that you genuinely can grieve so many different, every single person grieves. Every single person has loss and has grieved something that they thought they'd have. And I want you to hear me say it is okay. As silly as something like a car, my first car that I got, as silly as something like, and like I said, an outfit that doesn't fit anymore. Or for moms, the life that you had prior to becoming a mom, that snatched ass body, that life that you had where you got to just go to take a nap at 4 p.m. for no reason. It's okay to grieve those things. And I grieved things that I never thought I'd grieve in that storage this week, honestly. And the passion that I came out with was that life is so full of moments and objects and love. And I had so much of that. And I still do. And I brought way too much stuff home. I brought way too many of those objects home. But it's okay as well. I had to forgive myself for having to pay extra money for my overweight baggage because I want to bring these things home because I wasn't ready to part with them. I'm forgiving myself for keeping that one paper that honestly I don't need. I don't need that paper. But if I can look at it at home, in my safe place at home that I have built, the life I've built here, where I live in this amazing, super, super cute, I live in a little townhouse, upstairs, downstairs. I have the life that I dreamt of as like a baby widow, I'm living it right now. I have a group of friends. I have love all around me. My mom is just a hop, skip, and a jump away. My daughter loves her teachers. Her teachers love her. I dreamt of this life right now where I'm not choking every time I go to put gas in my car because I might go negative in my account. I've dreamt of this life that is hard for me daily. I've dreamt of this life where I have a roommate that I love. And I think that I sit back and I go, wait, okay, let's see how far you've come from that person in that storage who had to put her life in that storage, who had just lost her husband, who had just become a solo parent, not a single mom, a solo parent where every decision, big, small, medium, if I should take her to the doctor because her poop is too hard, all those decisions became mine solely when I put all that stuff in that storage. I have healed so tremendously from that person. I have healed. And do I work at it every day? Yes. Do I have therapy today? Girl, yes. Right? But I have healed, and I am not going to rob myself of the healing I've had ever again. Because I have been intentional with my healing. I have been absolutely pressured to become a person I did not want to become. And then I took that person and I started adding bits of love and happiness and dancing and writing and sewing. And I've traveled through this vortex of shit to get to the other side of where I am now. And I will not go backwards. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to honor the guilt and the pressure. And I'm not going to honor the hardships that I've been through. I'm not going to honor. I have to. I have to honor that person that put all that stuff in that storage. She was strong too. She was broken. And yet she still cared for this tiny little baby that her and her late husband created. And another experience I had was I went to his grave for the first time in more than 2 years. And I sat there and I looked at, this place that holds his remain. Like I sat with my daughter, and it's the first time she's been there. It was the first time my mom had been to his gravesite, and I sat there, and I don't have the luxury of having him locally. My husband was buried millions and millions of miles away, not millions, but on another continent in Europe. And so I sat there and I sat my daughter down. I said, "Is there anything you want to say to Daddy? Do you want to say anything?" And she said the heaviest things I can hear as a mom. She said them in her cute little 4-year-old voice. She said she wishes she still had a daddy. And I was like, girl, same. I wish you still had a daddy, And I honestly, I handled it with grace as a mother. I handled it with grace sitting there next to my husband. I mean, that's crazy. Yo, I'm so proud of myself. I am. I am so proud of myself. And then my beautiful, tiny, little, sweet baby angel says, "Okay, mommy, now you sit down and you talk to Daddy." Oof. Bruh. I was like, oh, wait, you want me to sit down and do this healing thing that I wanted for you? Okay. My sweet empath at 4 years old. And I sat there, and then she held me and she wiped my tears. Whew. The healing moments that I've had over this past week. It was beautiful. And let me tell you, the people, and I saved this for last on accident, but the people that I got to be surrounded by, my Swedish homies, my family, the comfort in hugging my Swedish mama and daddy, the comfort in hugging my in-laws, seeing my late husband's face in his sister. It's insane. It's insane, the beauty of the people that I got to be around. My bridesmaids that I never get to see. All of us now in motherhood journeys we weren't in when we were, we're all feeling these things. I got to hold my friends' babies. Oh my God. I got to see I'm telling you, I got so much love, and they had no idea that inside of my heart it was shattering. I had just seen things from my storage that I don't know that I was ready to see, but I don't know that I would have ever been ready, but I had to sit there and sift through these things so they don't understand that one hug from them, hugging me, people that have seen me prior to the trauma and who saw the strength in me on the field, who saw the strength in me as I went through all this stuff, who randomly came and sat with me while I cried, who just let me unload on them sometimes. These people who took care of me in my darkest times. And also seeing his family, his grandmother who loved him down, hold my daughter and hug my daughter. See my daughter take his mother's hand and his grandmother's hand and his sister's hand and hug and hold his niece who he never got to meet. It was powerful healing. It was confusing. It was everything. And now I come back and I'm laying in my bed that I laid in prior to this thing where I've been just drowning, and I got to go and see these people. I got to be surrounded by him and his love. And I got to go to the town he was raised in, where we met, where we literally conceived this baby that I work every single day to support, to love, to grow, to pour into, to love, entirely. I got to be there for a week. And now I get to use those experiences. I get to patch up the pieces that I didn't realize were still broken and hurt. I get to go forward and make sure that those people that mean so much to me, who I got to hug and hold, are part of my day every single day, that I don't lose touch with them again, that I never go a year without going to a place that fills me up this much. Whoo, shorty. I love you for listening to this. I love you for letting me brain dump via voice message or whatever this is for you. I love that you have listened all the way through. And I thank you for being part of my world in any way, shape, or form. And I am so excited about the amount of healing that I'm about to embark on. Because again, I don't do that thing where I just feel my sadness anymore. I am so intentional. I am so intentional with my healing, and I'm going to write about it. I'm going to sew about it, dance about it. I'm going to do the things that got me out of the darkest parts of my life. And I encourage you to find those things and shake your butt today. Like, I don't care how you do it. Just like go shake your butt. Even if you just go, you know what I mean? Just shake your butt. I love you, and I hope you have the most amazing day, evening, week, month, year, decade, century. And go tell someone that they're awesome today. Okay, bye.